And all the things I thought I knew, now I know them. Now I know.
Hello all, hope you're well. Elena here. So the track you just listened is my new track that came out today online, Spotify, Apple Music, all other major platforms. So in this video I'm going to try to do a quick walkthrough. I'm going to be soloing basically through the tracks and play them separately and explain how I put everything together. So this is the first time I'm doing this. And it's a little bit weird because it's on Ableton and I'm a dedicated Cubase user since like 2006, but occasionally I use other DAWs just for practice and it's good to know stuff. So this one happened to be on Ableton. It's coming out now, so I'm going to do it here now, but I'm not going to be very extensive. I'm not sure my setup here can support all these for the time being, but I have been wanting to do this for a long time and I'm gonna do it now. Let me start with a couple of things about the track and the setup here. So this is a very simple track. I just had a quick idea like a month ago or so, and it's based on a loop. The first idea I had was this small pattern here on the top. Everything else just came out of this. It's a very minimal way of thinking. I'm trying to add variety through production, through rearranging elements and introducing some new stuff as well when it's needed. A couple of things about my setup. I'm always using the same color coding regardless of the DAW I'm using because it helps me work a little bit more effectively. I tend to hear sounds in specific colors, so for me always keys and pads are purple. This is my pads and key section. Guitars and bass are always some kind of bluish green color, and percussion is yellow and effects are this reddish color, and vocals finally are pink or pink-like colors like this. Background vocals are a little bit of a faded pink. If you'd like, before I start, to listen to the song, please feel free to. So now I'm going to start with the main pattern that I had as an idea, and I'm going to walk you through some like of the most important things I did. This was the main idea. It's a very short 2-bar loop, arpeggio-like. The track is in C minor. I have basically only two harmonies, two chords here, a C minor, which is the tonic, and an A flat major, which is the sixth. So although I'm having two chords, I'm using the second one in the first inversion of it. So I have C as the lowest note. Everything's come down to altering between G and A flat, and this gives it like a slightly different color. It's very commonly used progression, so it's very simple. The next one is a pad from Contact Lo-Fi Glow. I really like this library. Every time I've used the sound from it, it sounds really nice. Here I just play only two notes, a C and an E flat. Basically every time I have a C minor chord, which is the first part of the loop, I'm using C on this pad. Every time I have an A flat major, I'm using the E flat. The rest of the pad here, I'm using a wavetable synth here from Ableton, and then this is pressed pedal hits pedal. Actually, it's a native sound from Ableton as well. And these two act as basically doubling these ideas of the first two pads and keys. So I didn't want to use exactly the same thing, and especially on the fast pattern here, to give it a little bit more motion. But I wanted to use something extra as we're progressing through the track to raise the energy a little bit. So this pattern here is this one. The slower one on the pad here from the wavetable synth. When I'm using pads, I mean, at least in this track, their function is to add a little bit more to the ambience of the song. I don't like to have them too much on the center. So I'm usually using a tremolo plugin like this one for some slow auto panning, or just an auto pan plugin. And this is pretty much it. So for the next beat, I'm gonna go to the basic drum loop I made. I played something very easy. I used a 909 kit from Ableton as well. It's this one. So I'm basically switching between a kick and a snare. I'm having short rim and some hi-hat to spice it up. Then occasionally, depending on where we are in the energy map of the song, I have added a loop. This is a beat. So the reason it sounds a little bit chopped off the times is because I've added a vinyl plugin, this one from Isotope. I really like it. It makes it a little more vintage. I've added a little bit of EQ and multi-band compressor. I just wanted to enhance a little bit the highs and the space, the reverb of the highs especially. I've added some, actually, Valhalla Simmer. I really like this reverb, this one. For the break section in the middle, I've played this little pattern here using the Grid Life kit. Everything else from the red section here are extra loops or elements like sweeps and risers that help transition points in the track. This is a shaker, just a shaker. I've had it sitting in the background with a panning, slow panning, I think. Left and right, yes, this one. Something else you might find a little bit interesting is actually this loop. I found it on Splice. I really like Splice. So without all the plugins, it sounds like this. If you add everything back on, it becomes this. A little bit more artificial, glassy sound. This plugin here, Subopnics, makes it a little bit more robotic. I've added some EQ, saturation, reverb, and some extra EQ here at the end. But yes, all this contribute like to the ambience of the song. It's not like a functional element. So the spine of the track is the purple and the yellow-red section, pads and percussion. So for the bass, I wanted to use to make a pattern that's moving, that drives the production, not something static. And the rest of this section are guitar like sounds. For example, Zang here, it has some melodic elements that act as an extra layer, like counterpoint between vocals and the guitar section, so to speak. And the last thing here is a distortion guitar. I put it because, you know, we're getting towards the end of the track and we want to add a little bit more energy, so an extra something to drive it there. Let me play these two for you separately. First the Zang. So yes, apology, my system is failing me a little bit here. Too many plugins, I'm afraid. But let me show you the chain. Actually, it's just a compressor. And because the original sound I found a little bit too dry, I've added two saturation plugins. One is the J37 from Waves, and the other one is a bit warmer here from Ableton. And lastly here to this guitar at the end, I really like layering my tracks, adding counter melodies, especially when I don't have much harmonic content like this one. It's one technique to make them a little bit more interesting. And lastly, I'm gonna move to my vocal section because I'm not sure for how much longer my audio engine is going to last. So the vocals, I have separated them here in two different basses. Here is like the main one, so to speak, and this is a background vocal bass. So the main one is this very short phrase that I'm just using it, or parts of it, throughout the track. Just a thing, I don't really write lyrics, I don't have particular skill for it. So when I have an idea that I want to sing, I'm just singing it like in jibber jabber, and then I'm trying to find words that fit the phonics of the initial sound. So it doesn't necessarily make any sense, but it is what it is.
And all the things I thought I knew, now I know them.
Yeah, nothing fancy, just a simple thing. The plugins I've used, is basic effect is, it says here radio fortes, but it's like a telephone effect I'm cutting all the low and higher frequencies, so the sound becomes a little more muffled and like it's passing through a telephone. So the last part is background vocals. So here I'm having two main ideas, one layered above the other, which I'm both doubling. And the second one, so when played together, they provide some background as well to the vocal section. So that's it actually. I didn't talk a lot about the returns I'm using, like for delay and reverb mostly, and some effects, but I tried to be quick and to the point because my audio engine is struggling a little bit. Please make sure you have a listen to the track on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and let me know if you like it. I know this video was not perfect by any means. It's the first time I'm attempting to do this, but I still hope it was somewhat interesting. And if you like this kind of videos, I could make more of those. And if you have any other suggestions, please feel free to let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.